Wow. You see the title. You see the title. So, yeah, it happened. I looked on my computer. I just found out it's 10:48 p.m. Central Time where I am. I just now found out about it, man. This is crazy, dude. Akira Toriyama, man. Akira Toriyama, man. Let me tell you why I'm smiling because, like I said, I'm one of the kids. I grew up with Dragon Ball. I don't care what anyone says. Dragon Ball is the most influential manga and anime of all time. I've seen hundreds of anime over the years, and when it comes down to it, Dragon Ball is still my favorite. Dragon Ball was going on before before Naruto and the Narutars came along and all that stuff. So a lot of things in Naruto is even copied from Dragon Ball. A lot of the other anime have copied from Dragon Ball, especially the characters, Vegeta and Kakarot, which is carried over to other anime just throughout the years, right? But no, man, yeah, they have an article here. That's crazy, man. He did his thing while he was here for sure, man. Like, let me tell you, um, like if you haven't seen Dragon Ball, I highly recommend. I know like a lot of newer generation of kids today refuse to look at it, but you have to go back and see the original and see why it's as popular as it is. Pay respects to that. This was like I can't pinpoint precisely when I started watching it, but I was a kid in the early 1990s. So it was mid to late 90s when like it was Dragon Ball Z on TV, Power Rangers, Sailor Moon, and Gundam Wing, G Gundam. These are all the legendary shows that I'm naming for you right now for anyone who's new to anime. Pokemon, Digimon, all of the generation stuff that Generation 1 anime started back then. All of the manga and everything started back then. But Dragon Ball manga, he first published it. Here it is, 1984. I thought it was 1986, but they're saying 84. Interesting. 1984 is an interesting year. That's when Terminator started. That's when Ghostbusters started. All the most popular film franchises and just like a lot of things started in 1984. It was interesting. I thought it was 1986, but here they're saying 1984. But yeah, and if you grew up with it like I did in the 90s around like 2000, you know that Dragon Ball Z and all the other anime aired on Toonami. And just for a lot of, in case they're a new generation of kids who don't know, they have a sort of, I call it a wannabe Toonami that comes on Adult Swim on Saturday nights now. But no, dude, Toonami, yeah, they're talking about it right there. See, 1997 to 2008, right? Naruto came along, 2008 is when it died. So here's like a list of anime. Let me just go down to it and let me explain this. Thundercats, Voltron. I remember all this. Beast Wars Transform, but Beast Wars Transformers was also on Fox Kids. And that's actually where One Piece started at in the US was on Fox Kids. This was back when Saturday morning cartoons existed. Now a lot of you kids today may not realize every Saturday morning there were special networks for cartoons. They don't have them anymore. All that died out. So Beast Wars is on Saturday morning cartoons. Yeah, this is back. Ronin Warriors is another one. I remember Tenchi Muyo, Tenchi Universe, Ronin Kenshin, the Cyborg 009. All these shows, I'm just closing my eyes. There was Zoids. What else did I watch? I can just remember all these shows. Uh, Big O, highly influential. This is back when anime was booming. Yu Yu Hakusho. And after this era of Toonami, in my opinion, a lot of anime sort of died off. But Dragon Ball Akira Toriyama. That was the leader of it all. You had these Toonami promos. Go look up Toonami promos. There's like a whole list of videos of them out there on YouTube, and those are basically like the commercials for the anime and everything. But no, dude, back then there was no social media, no internet like that. Internet was sort of starting, but there wasn't no social media. There's no this was before YouTube, and kids would come back from school and sit down and watch Tsunami from for me it was like 2:30 p.m. to like 6 p.m. This was Monday through Friday every day, right? And then the weekends you had Saturday morning cartoons. But Tsunami was all anime, and Dragon Ball Z was the leader. This was before Naruto. No one was talking about Naruto. No one was talking about One Piece. There was no Bleach. This I'm talking about before then. And then you kids would hang out, in the neighborhoods with each other, or like go to school, and then you talk about Dragon Ball Z and anime. That was the era of legendary cartoons, just anime in general back then. Like, and if it wasn't for Dragon Ball, like, yeah, it's on BBC News here. Like, it's gonna blow up. This is crazy. Yeah, 1984. For some reason, I was thinking 1986. Dragon Ball goes back. Dragon Ball goes back. You know what I'm saying? So, if it wasn't for me growing up watching Dragon Ball, you know, as a kid, if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have gone down the path of learning and studying, 3D animation like I did. It's not 2D, obviously. I can draw, but I'm like a slow drawer. I'm not like those super talented. I wasn't one of the kids like who was like drawing every day and ignoring the teachers. I had to get A's. So now I had to get straight A's and focus, paying attention to the teacher. But the kids who were drawing every day, those are like some of the top like directors and everything. Now they can really draw like really fast and really good. Those are the ones who can work on anime now. But if it wasn't for Dragon Ball, yeah, I wouldn't have studied animation in school. Um, because my options were. Let me go back a little bit. I got 5 minutes here. Uh, I went to a brand new school when I first moved to Texas. That was 2006, 2007. That was Boyd. And they invited me into the office one day and asked me to join the track team because I'm a naturally fast runner. I have videos of me running on the internet. So as a naturally fast runner, I was one of the top three, top five fastest guys at my previous school. I went to a small school before I moved here. I was in another state. And they asked me to be on the track team. And unfortunately, I walked after the first day of track practice, walked back to the house just right down the street, caught pneumonia, was in the hospital for 3 days. Season was pretty much done after that. And unfortunately, I had to go back to the small, poor school where there was no sports at all. So I was naturally fast in a small school that didn't have sports opportunities. So when it came around to graduating high school, I said, well, what am I going to do? It was either becoming a forensic science investigator, CSI, because I watched too much CSI Las Vegas during the time. So that was on my mind. Or it was animation and games. And I remember watching a commercial on on television. It was a school in Phoenix, Arizona called Collin College, which just happened to be another here called Collin, but a full university in Phoenix called Collin College. And the commercial was on G4 TV. There's a network, a game channel called G4 TV. And they said, hey, you want to learn how to do, game design, learn how to design games, come learn it here at school. And then that's where I had the idea of, the light bulb, the flash in the head, right? And I said to myself, oh, maybe I can make games. So then my mind was sort of set on that. So I didn't really have any other thoughts or ideas on what I was going to do for a career. But and then I applied to um, some local community colleges around here, and that's where I started on the path of animation. But just me growing up, watching Dragon Ball and anime, that was a huge part of what led me down the path of becoming an animator towards me, working as an intern at Pixar Animation Studios, me working at Deck Nine Games, Brazen Animations, and still growing my career now, right? So yeah, Dragon Ball is just part of my childhood and a lot of other kids' childhoods. And honestly, I do not think that today's current cartoons and anime are as big as during that era right there. Like I'm saying, the shows that aired on Toonami and even other networks back then. You had Jetix, that was on ABC Family. ABC Family, that was a name before it became Freeform. For those who don't know, Freeform used to be ABC Family. Like I said, you had Fox Kids, Kids WB. That's where like Yu-Gi-Oh was airing and things like that. But yeah, man, I remember all these shows on Toonami, but it was like I said, that was back when kids would come over, sit down, watch Dragon Ball Z. Back when I was eating like chips, cookies, and you order some pizza or whatever, sit down and watch it, eat some cereal. Back when I used to eat all the junky cereals back then. And that's like I said, kids in the neighborhood got together, looked at Dragon Ball Z, like you talk about it at school. And then after that, after it went off, play Star Fox on Nintendo 64, GoldenEye 007 on N64. I still have both of those games in there. But yeah, man, Akira Toriyama did it though. Dragon Ball, and I know his. I'm behind on the manga. Um, I know his apprentice Toro. Is it Toro? I'm gonna butcher it. Toyotaro. So this is his new apprentice, and he's trying to continue it now. You know, I don't know, man. It's not saying without Akira, but I'm behind on the manga. The last I saw of the manga was when Black Frieza came in, and I don't know. I thought that was it. Um, that's when it sort of slowed down. The manga cut off, and then there's all this news about Akira had lost his magic special pen that he was drawing with. I remember hearing something about that. I don't know if that's true or not, but yeah. So, and I only recently found out within the past 2 weeks that the manga is actually still going. So it's in the hundreds now. The last I saw was like chapter 80 something when I looked it up. So I have to catch up on the manga. But yeah, man, huge influential part. Obviously, as I've explained in my life, and I'm sure other people's life. Uh, back then yeah, I was like huge into like martial arts. Vegeta was my favorite character as a kid. I was into like Bruce Lee and everything like that. And like, dude, and a lot of the guys who were into Dragon Ball Z back then you know, were in martial arts and like were in working out in the gym and all that. So it was very influential in a good way. I would say I can as compared to a lot of anime now. But that's my opinion on that. But yeah, man, that sucks. I sort of suspected something was going on health wise. I haven't read like what happened and everything to him, but it just sort of seemed like it within this past year. It's like Dragon Ball sort of slowed down. I haven't really looked at anything new in the past 2 years now, right? And like it sort of seemed like something was going on. So, and I was actually thinking about this, like recent, like sometime in the past few months, I was thinking about this, like, oh, Akira Toriyama, like what happened? He sort of disappeared, but there you go. And you know, that's it. That's life. Hopefully God took him to heaven. That's it. Yes, I'm a believer in God, a believer in heaven. So hey, maybe he's a Saiyan warrior now out there, right? So yeah, but that's it, man. Like I said, I remember watching the show as a kid. I remember the first time Trunks turned into a Super Saiyan against Frieza. I was eating ramen noodles, I think, at the time. So that's all I had, you know. So, and I remember Rock the Dragon. That's right, baby. The original. Dragon Ball Z. Dragon, ride the dragon, Dragon Ball Z. Dragon, ride the dragon. Oh, Z. That's right, baby. This is what aired on TV. Dragon Ball Z. Dragon, ride the dragon, Dragon Ball Z. Dragon, ride the dragon. Come on, yeah, Z. Yeah. That's the intro right there, baby. Not DBZ Kai, none of that. Yes. Nappa. Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z. AKIRA Toriyama, baby. There you go.